Hello, my loves. So, today I'm going to be reacting to how to beat the death game in Truth or Dare. This is a movie I have not seen, if it is a movie, but the title just made it seem interesting. Yeah, this is going to be a 3-part video. Maybe 4 parts, depending on how many times I pause the video to make it make sense in my head. I do not own this video, nor do I own this god darn Pampers ad. Go away.
If you and your best friends were trapped in a game of Truth or Dare turned deadly, what would you do? These college kids wanted one last week of fun before graduation, but instead of a dream trip to Mexico, they ended up in a never-ending nightmare. I'm going to break down the mistakes made, what you should do, and how to beat the Truth or Dare death game in Truth or Dare. These unsuspecting spring breakers are about to have their relationships put to the ultimate test. Speeding down the highway near the Mexico-U.S. border, this girl pulls into a small gas station and walks inside looking nervous. She tries to buy some candy and a pack of cigarettes, but before she can pay, the cashier suddenly starts speaking in a demonic voice, asking her to play a game of Truth or Dare. The man forces her to choose, and that's when the girl walks down the aisle, grabbing a can of lighter fluid and spraying it on this innocent woman. This lady screams out terrified, while the girl lights a book of matches, saying that she's sorry, but she doesn't have a choice, and throwing them at the woman's feet, causing her to go up in flames. Back in the U.S., this girl, Olivia, plans to spend her spring break doing volunteer work, but finds out that her best friend, Marky, unsigned her up, so that she'll have to go on a trip with her friends instead. Olivia here is furious, but her friends Penelope and Tyson promise that if she comes along, then they'll all spend 2 weeks volunteering with her summer. And so she finally agrees to go. With their things packed, they meet up with their friend Brad and Marky's boyfriend Lucas, load their things into the car, and head down to Mexico. On the last night of the trip, Olivia decides to go and grab a drink. But while she's waiting at the bar, this goofy guy Ronnie comes up and immediately starts hitting her. Noticing that she's not interested, this other guy Carter tells him to back off and asks her if she'd like to have a seat. The two of them sit there talking until the bar is getting ready to close down, and the rest of her friends come by looking for somewhere else to keep the party going. Carter here says that he knows a place, but this time it's Marky who wants to go back to the hotel, and Olivia who says that they should check it out, guilting them into it. She finally gets her friends to tag along, but that was their biggest mistake. Okay, Carter might seem like a nice guy, but Olivia here has no idea that she's about to lead her friends straight into a trap. She might be a little too trusting to pick up on it, but the truth is that this guy Carter is already giving off some red flags. Any travel safety expert would strongly warn you against following a strange guy who you just met in an unfamiliar location so late at night, especially when you've been...
Oh my god, brother, preach. For any of my viewers that travel, don't be an idiot. Don't trust people if you're in a different country or anywhere different at all. We don't do that. That's very stupid. You could be blindly trusting a serial killer. Girlfriend, I just heard your back and ankles crack like there was no harm. Listen here, you bowl of fucking Rice Krispies. Cut it out. Right, I'm gonna unpause this and then make my way to the bed and finish this on the bed because I'm barely here right now.
Drinking, and you're in a foreign country. He says that it's just going to be another party spot, but there's no way to be sure about what his real intentions are. Which is why, if it were me, I would have listened to my friends and gone back to the safety of the hotel. Besides the fact that you should never just blindly follow strangers, no matter how trustworthy they seem, several more warning signs start to pop up. People usually go on trips like this with at least 1 or 2 friends, but Carter here is clearly at the bar all alone. So where's everyone else from history? For all that you know, he could be a serial. plotting to make you his
Hannibal
next
Lecter?
victim or a
Is that
member of
you?
some kind of cult, with his friends waiting in the shadows.
Everyone's a part of a cult nowadays.
Feels bad or about
Alright, there's. I gotta go turn the TV up, so it's actually. Ow! Just stepped on a damn light.
Instead of pressuring her friends into a potentially dangerous situation. Following Carter out into the streets, they eventually arrive at this abandoned mission building. And while he's handing out beers to the rest of the group, Olivia here decides to have a look around. The girl starts recording things about the place on her phone, which is when she finds some pictures of these old guns next to a broken jar filled with a foul-smelling substance. As she puts the things back down, Ronnie shows up right behind her, admitting that he followed them there so he could crash the party. The rest of the group decides that they want to go home, but Carter insists that they stay for a little while longer, asking them to play a game of truth or dare.
No.
Fun until this guy Tyson decides to start some drama by asking Marky if she knows that Olivia is secretly in love with her boyfriend. She doesn't believe him, but Olivia and Lucas are pissed off, and it almost turns into a fight until Penelope steps in and keeps the game going. This time, she picks on Carter. He chooses the truth, so she asks him what his intentions are with Olivia. But that's when he finally admits what he's been hiding this whole time. With a serious tone, he explains that he needed to find a group of friends that he could trick into coming out there, saying that he's okay with them dying as long as he gets to live, before standing up and walking out of the room. Olivia chases him down the hallway, demanding to know what's going on. He explains that the game is actually real, and if you fail your challenge or refuse to play, you'll die. After explaining the rules, Carter takes off out of the building, and when Olivia goes back to her friends, it looks like they're all gone too. Suddenly, she turns around and sees them all staring at her with bizarre, demonic faces. The girl starts to freak out, but Lucas here grabs her by the shoulder and snaps her out of it, and they all decide to head back to the hotel. Okay, well, what do you know? It looks like following this random guy out to an abandoned church in the middle of nowhere just went horribly wrong. Who could have seen that one coming? Now all of
Me?
her friends are...
I did. I can't catch fucking body language or anything.
You... None of this really
You're a dumb bitch.
stuck to your original plan and gone to their houses, instead of losing it up with your friends. Sure, everyone's got to cut loose and have a little fun once in a while, but peer pressure is never a good excuse for cheating. And real friends would respect the commitment that you made if they knew how much it mattered to you. And now, on the very last night of the trip, it ended up being you who dragged everyone into a dangerous situation against their will, all because you were getting a little jealous of Lucas and Marky, and wanted some attention for yourself.
All you wanted was some fucking dick, and you're gonna wind up dead.
And while having a crush
Sorry
on your
for the foul
boyfriend
language.
is bad enough, when you pulled your entire
I'm filming this way too late, and I'm way too tired.
random guy that you just met, it kind of makes you a bad person. Since you didn't even want to be on this trip in the first place, you really should have listened to your friends and gone back to the hotel. Especially after the secret spot turned out to be an abandoned church full of strange old photographs and broken jars with skulls in them. Seriously, you're supposed to be the smart one.
I don't think that was a jar. I'm pretty sure it was a
Someone
skull.
who will go home when the party's over. And this
Isn't that skull or skull?
consequences. The friends eventually make it back to school, and when Olivia gets to her first class, she notices the words "Truth or Dare" written on her desk, thinking that it must be a prank from Ronnie, who's sitting close behind her. Back at their house, Olivia sees this homeless man walking down the street and gives him some money before heading inside. While looking through the mail, she finds the question "Truth or Dare" once again, and starts to wonder what's going on. That's when Marky comes in, saying that she wants to make up, and the two girls promise to stay friends no matter what. The next day, Olivia goes looking for Marky in the library, passing this red-haired girl on the way in. Suddenly, the girl turns around, her face morphing into that bizarre smile, and she asks her truth or dare. Confused, she tries to run out of the building, but everyone else gets up and surrounds her, chanting for truth or dare over and over. Finally, Olivia breaks, choosing truth, and they ask her what secret does your best friend make you hide. She yells out that Marky is always cheating on Lucas. But at that moment, everything returns back to normal, and she realizes that the entire building heard what she said, including her two friends. Shocked, Lucas gets up and runs out with his girlfriend chasing behind him. Olivia quickly tries to stop her and explain what just happened, but Marky pushes her away. Later that night, Ronnie is at the bar and starts hitting on these two girls. They're not interested, and this girl gets up to walk away, but suddenly she turns around smiling and asks him to make his choice. Feeling brave, he chooses Dare, and she challenges him to climb up on the table and show everyone his pool cue. Just as he's about to do it, Ronnie here starts to get embarrassed at some heckling from the crowd, and decides not to finish the challenge after all. As soon as he tries to climb down, he immediately becomes possessed by the game, and deliberately slips on a ball, which causes him to tumble over and break his neck on the table, killing him instantly. Okay, it looks like things just got real. In a normal game, dares aren't supposed to be dangerous, but this time, failing your challenge has deadly consequences. That's why, if it were me, I'd stick to choosing truth and answering questions honestly. It's going to require you to share some things that might be embarrassing. It's a lot better than risking your life in the game. The only problem with this logic, though, is that you have to wonder what happened with that girl from the very beginning who lit the woman on fire at the gas station. If always choosing truth was an option, then there's no reason why she should have picked Dare at that moment. This must mean that there are some other rules that we don't know about yet. It's clear that the game is going to ask you to do things that could get you in trouble or ruin your friendships. But nobody ever said that you have to yell your answer as loud as you can, so that everyone in the library can hear you. If Olivia here had remained calm and thought it through, she probably could have covered her mouth and whispered the answer under her breath. That way, she'd still be completing her turn fair and square, without exposing her best friend in the process. Waiting for the game to end might not work out, so if things start to go too far, then it might be time to look at ways to pass the curse onto another group and use them as a meat shield. We've seen what happened with Carter, that it's possible to bring other people into the game, and although we don't know yet if it actually sets everyone from free, it couldn't hurt to try. The person who starts the process with the next group will probably be stuck in the game, which is why I choose whichever friend is the most free to be the one who does the deed. So far, only Olivia and Ronnie even know what's happening. And since he isn't going to be much help anytime soon, she'll have to wait for the others to catch on before they can really start to come up with a plan. Olivia tries to explain to the rest of her friends what happened earlier that day, but it sounds so crazy that no one else believes her. Just then, they all get an update on their phones, showing the video of Ronnie's death. She immediately becomes convinced that this is all related to the game, but her friends argue that this isn't proof because Ronnie could have just been drunk when he fell. That's when Lucas walks in, saying he doesn't believe her either, before taking his things and leaving. As he's walking to the car, Lucas hears someone calling his name. Confused, he tries looking around for where it came from, but doesn't see anybody nearby. That's when he notices Truth or Dare painted on the wall. Thinking that it must be a prank by his friends. Suddenly, he feels an excruciating pain from his arm, pulling up his sleeve and seeing that the words are burnt into his skin. Lucas calls Olivia right away, saying that he believes her and explaining what just happened. She quickly asks him if he made his choice, and admits that he's had feelings for her ever since they met. He chose the truth, and that was the game's question. Finally sure that it's real, Olivia says that they need to convince everyone before it's too late, and he rushes back over to the house. When Marky gets home, everyone is already gathered around in the living room waiting for her. Olivia here starts to explain what's going on, and according to the order of their picture, her turn is next. That's when Marky gets a text asking her to choose. She picks the Dare, and the game challenges her to break Olivia's hand. Horrified, the girl quickly runs to the kitchen, grabbing a hammer and insisting that she completes the Dare so that she won't be killed. As angry as she is, Marky here still can't hurt her best friend like this. So Olivia does the only thing that she can and insults her friend's dead father right to her face. The plan works.
Okay, alright, so this is where I'm ending this part off because yeah. Alright, have a great day or night. Drink some water and get some sleep. Food helps. Eat something. Alright, night.